Hello students, welcome to today's lecture and we'll be continuing with Metamorphoses book 4. So in the previous lecture we had seen that the Minos' daughters start telling stories to each other while they are weaving, while the rest of the women of Thisbe are busy praying or worshipping the god Bacchus. So now it is the turn of Leucothoe to tell the story, and so another daughter that is Leucothoe starts telling a different tale, and she too is daughter of Minos. Now she starts the story of Mars and Venus. Here in the lines of Ovid he says, "Even the sun who sways the world with his brilliant star has fallen in love. My story's title is Love of the Sun God. This god is supposed to have been the first to spy the affair between Mars and Venus. This god is the first, in fact, to spy everything. Shocked, he reported Venus's betrayal to Vulcan, her husband, and also disclosed where the son of Juno could catch the offender." Now story goes on like this, that Leucothoe says that a long time ago, Venus, the goddess of love, was having an affair with Mars, the god of war. So here in the story she says that when the sun, who sees everything on earth, saw them in bed together, he quickly tattled or sneaked to gossip or inform this to god Vulcan. God Vulcan is Venus's husband. So Vulcan didn't like this one a bit, because obviously he did not like to hear the story from Sun that his wife is having affair with the god Mars. So that said, being the god of craftsmanship, as we have already seen that he is a god of fire, so he can make or mold anything out of that fire. He quickly went to work on a plan to trap both of them. So finally we find that here again in the words of Ovid, so when his wife and her paramour entered the chamber together, the husband's exquisite art and ingenious netting in blended pair to be caught, unable to move in the midst of their love-making. Instantly Vulcan threw open the ivory doors and admitted the other gods. There were the guilty ones lying together, entwined in their shame. The gods were amused, and one of them murmured, "If only I could be shamed like that." So in this process, obviously Vulcan, as he doesn't like this idea of his wife having relation with Mars, tries to trap both of them. So he quickly went to work on this plan and makes a trap for both of them, so that he could bring out that secret relation which is going on between Mars and Venus in the eyes or in front of the eyes of the other gods. So in the end we see that he fashioned extremely thin wire made of gold, so thin that they were invisible to the naked eye. So finally, after his workmanship, he works on a net which is made with very thin wire of gold, which is not visible to the naked eyes, or we cannot watch it or see it with the naked eyes. So finally the trap is made, and then there is a plan of Vulcan to trap both of them. They were also invisible to the naked lovers, because obviously they were too much into each other that they were not able to see the wire which was ready to trap them, or the trap which was ready to catch them. So when Venus and Mars got into bed together, Vulcan tied the chains tightly around them, leaving them trapped. So then he invited all the other gods and goddesses into the room to witness their shame. That means what they were actually doing, because obviously if Vulcan would have gone out telling other gods about the affair between Venus and Mars, that obviously it wouldn't have looked good, or it wouldn't have sounded good. So he wanted everybody to see that what exactly was going on between both of them, that is Venus and Mars. So Vulcan's plan kind of backfired later, because however when one of the gods, we are not told who that god exactly is, but he has said in front of everyone that he wished he could be shamed in the same way. So we are not told that who exactly this god was who had spoken these lines, but yes, this is the incident which takes place here in this story. And then after this incident, Venus decided to get revenge on the sun for rattling her out, because obviously it was Sun who had gossiped, or who had gone and informed Vulcan about her affair with the god Mars. So that's why now it is Venus's turn to take revenge revenge on Sun. So now there is another story which goes on. about leucothoe or leucothoe or and Clytie. So there is second story of leucothoe, leucothoe or Clytie. So she got revenge the way only she knew how, because now she is planning to take revenge against the sun god. So finally she makes sun god madly fall in love with a woman named leucothoe or leucothoe. So he is not madly, but he is painfully in love with this young woman, and she is the daughter of king of Persia. So Venus took her revenge on the sun for informing against her. These are the words of Ovid. He had frustrated her secret affair and would soon be frustrated in turn by passion as strong. What used to Hyperion's son would his beauty, amazing complexion and radiant beams be now? The truth was, the god who burns the whole of the world with his fire was burning himself with a strange new flame. And this strange new flame which Ovid is describing here is actually the flame of love, which the sun god is in now. So he is madly and painfully in love with Leucothoe. She is daughter of Persia, as I told you. She is not to be confused with Leucone, the daughter of Minos, who is telling the story. She is not actually Minos' daughter. She is daughter of king of Persia. So one night when his duties were over, the sun came down to earth. Now, assuming the form of Eurynome, the mother of Leucothoe. In his disguise, he approached Leucothoe in her palace and told her he needed to speak to her in private. Once they were alone, he told her he liked her. Then he revealed his true form and they were together. It's unclear whether this was a rape or not, though according to modern standards, probably if we look into this union between the sun god and the Leucothoe, then it will be considered as molestation or rape. But we don't know how exactly it could be seen, because obviously here the sun god quietly goes and has a relationship with Leucothoe. Now after this incident, however, another girl, Clytie, one of the sun's ex-lovers, decided to that means trick Leucothoe out due to jealousy, because she is jealous that now sun god, instead of loving her, is in love with Leucothoe. So Clytie is ex-girlfriend of or ex-beloved of sun god. So when Leucothoe's father found out that she was no longer a virgin, he commanded her to be buried alive, because it was a great issue during that time, because we are talking about Greek mythology, and during that time obviously it was considered to be a great concern that the daughter is no more virgin and she has lost her virginity before marriage. So finally her father commanded her to be buried alive just because of this reason. Now when he got wind of this, the sun shot rays of light down into the earth, covering her grave, to blast out a breathing hole. So finally he was able to make a hole on the ground where Leucothoe was buried. But it was too late, because Leucothoe was already dead under that soil where she was buried. Now the sun entered a period of profound grief, because he had lost his girlfriend. Now eventually he spread divine nectar around the grave. Soon enough a fragrant flower or plant grew out of it, and it was called leucothoe in a new form. Now this is the metamorphosis of Leucothoe, that is, she is now transformed into a beautiful aromatic plant. As for Clytie, even though she had gotten revenge on her rival, she wasn't able to patch things up with the sun, because obviously she wanted or she was having this desire that if Leucothoe will be killed, then maybe she is going to get her place back in the heart of sun. But this doesn't happen, because now sun is so upset, also so grieved, that he does not want to see or look at Clytie. He wouldn't have anything to do with her, and he doesn't want to look at her, who she is or why she is there. She started spending all day outside, not eating or drinking, staring at the sun. So eventually she too turned into a plant, the flower known as heliotrope. So this is the transformation of Clytie, because she was in love with the sun and she kept on looking at the sun, and now there is a plant which always turns towards or faces towards the sun, which is called heliotrope. So that's the end of Leucothoe's story. Now here